Hi, my name is Eric Finzi, and this painting is part of a series called Finzi Contini Giardino, which is going to be shown in Chicago, October 24th at Linda Warren Projects. And it's also going to be shown with her at Art Expo in September. Now, what is this about? It's really about my ancestral family and its relationship to the movie The Garden of the Finzi Continis that was made more than 40 years ago. And it's all about the Finzis that were a Sephardic Italian Jewish family who had the good life. But then fascism came, and so did World War II. And somehow the Finzis thought, because they were always part of this upper crust, that somehow they would be immune, and they weren't. And so this whole series of paintings and sculptures has a bit of the tragedy and the beauty of that life that existed that no longer exists. My father's ancestral family came from there, and he was one of the lucky ones to escape. And that's what I've made this story about. And if you watch the movie, you'll see they're always playing tennis, relaxing, reading. They're just going around their business as fascism just gets worse and worse, and there are more and more limitations. And then you realize that there's a huge amount of denial. So this is all happening in front of them, but because they're privileged, they think, well, it can't happen to me, but it can. So, and the story reflects that the pathos of the whole family and what happened to them, but also the beauty of the life that they had there, which was an amazing life. And in a way, it's a little bit of a tribute to the family.
Talk about your father's history, specifically.
Okay, so my father happened to be in Vienna at the night of Kristallnacht, the breaking of the glass. So in this series, I actually have a cast glass tennis racket, which reflects on the fact that he was there. He heard the glass breaking. And in the movie, The Garden of the Finzi Continis, they're playing tennis. So I've decided to make the tennis racket something that's really rather precious and rather fragile. And so it's made out of glass. Now, my father also wound up leaving Italy on a bicycle. So he was hiding in a small town north of Rome called Orvieto at the time, and he rode a bicycle down to where the first and only ship that left Italy for America, taking refugees, was leaving. And he found out that he could get himself and his mother on it, came back, rode on there. Of course, the bicycles broke down. Somehow, he and his mother managed to get on the boat. So in this show, you'll see a lot of references to bicycles and sort of forlorn, lost bicycles, because his bicycle didn't make it. It broke. But he made it. And he was just a teenager, exposed to the whims, moving around from place to place, trying to keep a very low profile with an assumed identity. And that's how he survived the war. And in the movie, when you see the movie, it looks like everybody died. And of course, fortunately, not everyone died. Most did, but many survived. And the novel on which it was based by Giorgio Bassani, who was there during the war, really is an exploration of all the different feelings and thoughts and things that were happening to this whole group that was just losing its identity. I'm going to be working today on this Contini goddess painting. Now, she's hitting a tennis ball, and she's happy. It's a beautiful time. And today I'm going to be adding a little plant that's going to be growing from the frame into the picture. And this plant, you're going to see, it's like an epiphyte. It's just growing on nothing. It doesn't need anything except real epiphytes need water and sunlight. And there's going to be one just growing because this may be a lost time and maybe we can't recover this, but there can still be new growth. So I'm just going to have a plant that's just going to make the transition between the frame and the painting inside. And we're going to do this today with epoxy resin, this viscous, chaotic medium that I'm going to use in a sort of a sculptural way with syringes and needles. And those are the same tools I use in my other work. And I'm going to use that to draw and paint with this epoxy and to give this epoxy life, because really the epoxy does have life and it does things that I don't plan, and that's what I really love about it. I'm only the director of the painting, and the epoxy completes at least the other 50%. I just watch it happen.
Tell us about this painting here.
In this Primavera goddess, you can see that she's real, but she isn't. She's from this lost time. She's walking down the steps, and she's looking at her lost Finzi. This is a Finzi. She's a Contini. And here's a Finzi swinging his tennis racket. But all that's left of this Finzi is just a memento, just a photograph of him on the steps. Now, there's a scene in the movie where the main heroine, she's walking down the steps as they're taking her away to the concentration camp. And here, I've recast Botticelli's Angel as a Contini goddess. And she's throwing roses as she walks to oblivion. And she's remembering her Finzi right here as she walks down the steps.